Okay, welcome back to Tech and Learning Live. My name is Kevin Hogan. I'm Content Director for Tech and Learning, and with me is Josh Stumpenhorst, who is giving the closing keynote tomorrow at ISTE, and is you were the Illinois Teacher of the Year back in 2012, was it?
Okay. That's correct.
And is also the author of The New Teacher Revolution. Thanks for stopping by, Josh. We get to talk a little bit about what you're seeing here at ISTE and versus years past, and give us a little sneak peek for what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Tomorrow I'm really excited to deliver the closing keynote. The title of the keynote is Pushing the Limits, and really what I'm going to kind of challenge the crowd to do is, you've been here for several days at the conference, what next? What are you going to do that's actually going to move the needle with students in your classrooms or in your schools when you go back in the fall or return to school? And not just the shiny and new, but how you're really going to push the limit of what's possible. Or at least that's the goal, but also really empower them to realize they're doing really great stuff too. So I want them to be challenged, but also feel really good about the great work they're doing.
Great. Talk a little bit about where we are in the state of education technology. How much, as an innovator, as someone who's very comfortable with the technology, when you look at your colleagues and you look at kind of the wider audience, do we need to talk about the importance of having technology in the classroom, or are we past that point?
I think that's so contextual. You know, I get to see a lot of different school districts around the country, and Illinois is a great example. You have the Chicago area and the suburbs, and everybody else. And so what is available and accessible and even known in the city is very different than, Southern Illinois. And so the simple answer is, I think we've moved past it. That is technology relevant? Is it important? And I think the conversation is starting to get to the place where it should be, which is not the how. We need to shift to the why. Not how can I get iPads in the classrooms, because we're seeing models that can be done, but why? Not how can you get 1,000 laptops in your district, but why do you want them? What are you going to do with them? And I'm starting to see that conversation, but I feel that is probably the most critical conversation we need to have in ed tech is why? Why do we have these vendors pushing this stuff on us? What are you going to do with it? Not to say there's anything wrong with the vendors, because they produce products, I think, with the intent of, they're making money, but it's for education. So as educators, I think we have a tremendous obligation to say why. Not how, but why.
Talk a little bit about the level, how important now is, if you're just an average teacher in a school district, walking around the show floor here, do they have any more influence about ultimately what sort of technology they're using in the classroom versus years past?
I don't know, because I think it's whoever you're working for. Yeah. I've walked into, I've had different tech directors that have worked in my district in my years, and the one I previously had, I could walk into his office and say, hey, this is something I saw at ISTE, or this is something I saw at a local affiliate conference that I think we need to look into, and he would. I don't know if every teacher has that ability. I think it depends on the size of your district. Some districts don't even have technology departments.
Right.
In some ways that's bad, but in some ways that's good, because the teacher can then just do whatever they want to do or what they think is best for kids. So I think, again, that's not an easy answer, because
Right.
I think some places there's a great system in place, a teacher can go and bring that, but in others that's just not possible.
Right. What are you seeing on the horizon? What's going to be going on in the next year by the time we're back here? We won't be here in Philly, but ISTE in Denver.
Yeah. I think we're going to continually see, and I just listened to Jack Gallagher talk at his keynote, which I thought was really inspirational in terms of having the conversation be more about the kids, not the technology. And again, not to reiterate, but the why component,
Right.
and that answer being different for every kid. And so I really hope we start seeing at conferences, not just ISTE, but any of these conferences, no more of the 50 iPad apps for third grade math. We need to get those out of here, because we need to have the conversation of how can we do math better? Why is an iPad a great learning tool for math? As a parent of small elementary age children, I could tell you why it's important and how it has helped my kids.
Right.
And that is where I'm starting to see that turn the corner, and I hope we continue to go around that corner and have the focus not be on how much ed tech can we get, but why. Stop the arms race of ed tech and really have the conversation about learning.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bye.